Alright, so guys, welcome to Fourier series class. This is our first video on Fourier series, and we'll be doing the introduction to the integrals of periodic function. So at the end of the class, we'll be solving some integral questions that are related to the periodic function. So this is question 1, question 2, question 3, and question 4. So now we are discussing a very important concept of the periodic function. When we say something is periodic, it simply means that you see it is moving in a sinusoidal way, or it is moving. This is a sine graph actually, so it is periodic in nature, right? So it is going down, down, and so on. So this is what we mean by periodic. And we have the various form of the periodic function. So after my explanation on the periodic function, we'll move down to solving those problems that I listed above. All right, so let's consider this first graph. We have a graph of f of x. This is f of x over here, and x against x. We have 0 to 5, 10 to 15, and so on. Now, to determine the period of this graph, we look at this is meant to be 3. This is meant to be 3. This is meant to be 3. So at s equals to 0 to 5, so s moving from point 0 to 5, what is the value for y? The value for y is 3, as you can see clearly at this point. So the range of this is going to be in inequality format. It is going to be 0 less than x, x greater than 0, and s less than 5. So this is the interpretation of the range. So the range is 0 to 5. Now look at this other line that we have here, from this point to this point over here that we have. So it simply means that the period, the point at which this point move from 5 to 10, you can see if we are to determine the point of from point 10 now, this is where the period is. So at point s equals to 10, at s equals to 10, what is going to be the value of what is going to be the value of y? Now the value for y at x equals to 10 is equals to 0. Reason because you can see we have an open region here, so the value for y is equal to what? Is equals to 0. And of course we have different ways of determining this. You can use the line equation to determine this, and you still arrive at y equals to 0. Now to write the period, the period is going to be not this, not f equals to s plus 5 equals to f of x. Our period will be equals to f x plus 10 equals to f of x. F of x is still the same thing as y, and that is equals to what? 0. So this is our period. So the period is 10. So the point at which it begins another triangle. Look at the diagram. We have a rectangle. We have a rectangle. So the period at which we have the point at which we have a new point starting up, that's where our period lies. So our period is what? Our period is equals to 10, and the point at which it is equals to 10, it is f of x equals to 0, which is also known as what? As the range. So that is the first part. Now the second part, look at this other triangle, this other graph that we have here. You can see it's unlike the first one. This one is more like a triangle in nature. So we have point A, we have point B, and we have point C. Now we have 3 different points. So we want to determine the range and the period. So for example, for the first one, you see that at point s equals to 0 to 2, we are picking 0 to 2 first. So the point A is the origin. So the origin for x and for y is 0, 0. The origin for the point of B is 2, 2. So we have that. So to determine the equation of the line in this point, at point AB, what we do is we use y minus y1 over x minus x1 equals y2 minus y1 over s2 minus x1. So if we are to determine the equation of the line, we be having something like this. We'll be having, this is going to be y minus 0 over x minus 0 equals 2 minus 0 over 2 minus 0. So at the end of the day, we'll be left with y equals to what? X. So that is, which is the same thing as what? As f of x. So our f of x is equals to y. So at point x, at point 0 to 2, the value for y is equals to what? X. So that is that for that. Now we've successfully done for point A and point B. So assuming the question states that we should look for um, the point at which from the point A and C, or let's say you are looking for points B and C. So point C over here, we know the value for B already. B is 0, 2, 2. A is 0, A is 0, 0. So our point C is going to be 6, 0. So that is what our point C will be. So assuming you have to look for the equation of the line from B to C, we look for the equation of the line from A to B. So to find the equation of the line B to C, what we do is you use that same formula again, and using that same formula we arrive at this solution we have over here. You can try and check using this same formula that we have over here. You will see that you arrive at something of this nature. And of course, this can also be written as f of x. This can also be written as f of x equals minus x over 2 plus what? Plus 3. So that is that for that. All right, so the third one which we'll be considering, we have a line. We have a line again, and we have point A, point B, point C, point D, and point E. Now point A is the origin, which is 0, 0. Point B is okay. We for did I forget anything over here? Let's see. Okay, these points that we have here, um the point we have over here, we can rewrite the 0 to 2 as the range as 0 less x less than 2. So this is the range at which we have the value of f of x. So it's either you're writing it like this, or you are writing it like this. Now, okay, now we have, moving back to this point, we have um points A, B, C, and D. So point A is 0, 0, point B is 4, 4. So that is going to be the value for B. So the x is 4, you can see, and the y, the x is 4, and the y here is also 4. So at x equals to 0 to 4, this is the 0 to 4 at point 0 less than, 0 less than x less than 4. At this point, if you are to find the value of x, if you are to find a range, so it means that you'll be having y equals to x equals to what? Equals to f of x. So that is going to be the range. Now to find the value for y, we've done something related to this before. So if you use the equation of the line again, you'll be having y is equals to x. So when s ranges from 0 less than x less than 4, the value for y will be equals to what? X, or it will be equal to what? F of x. So that is that for that. Now secondly, now we want to move from point 4 to point 7, this region to this region. So if you look at it very well now, you see that the value for 4 is constant. You see, for y is constant from here down to this point. So y remains the same, y remains 4. So at point s, moving from 4 to 7, that is 4 less than x less than 7, the value for y is equals to 4, which is equals to what? F of what? Which is also equals to f of x. So you can try this last one yourself and check what is going to be the value of what y. So all of these are typical example of what we mean by the periodic function. So let's quickly go back to our questions, our proposed questions, and in order to solve integrals of periodic functions. So we have the odd functions and various types of functions and so on. So let's solve question number 1. So question number 1 is we have the integral. Um, we have the integral of ranges from minus pi to positive pi. You can see this is it is a periodic integral. So we have the x. So to solve this integral now, if we integrate 1, the answer for this is 1, is x. So we put this is pi, this is pi, and this is minus pi. So when you do this, this is going to be pi minus pi equals to what? 2 pi. So that is our answer for that. So the second question, we have integral of pi to minus pi to pi of sine ps of sine px of sine px. So on solving this, so to solve this, you integrate sine px, you have 1 minus 1 over p minus 1 over p cos px, because we have this is going to be from minus pi to what? Minus pi to pi. So on solving this now, we can have this as minus 1 over pi, minus 1 over p, then minus 1 over p is a constant, so we impute the value for cos p. So we'll be having impute the value for x, so we have cos pi p minus, yeah, this is going to be minus cos pi p, cos pi p. So all of these is equal to what? 0. So the integral of sine px from minus p to p, the answer for that is what? Is 0. So let's say the next question, we have the integral of minus pi to pi, then you have cos px px. So this is going to be 1 over p sine p sine x minus pi to pi, and when you solve for this as well, the answer for this is also what? 0. So the last one we have over here is the integral of minus pi over pi sine square px dx. So solving this, since we have the power of sine here, we recall our trigonometric function that sine square px is the same thing as 1 minus cos 2 ex all divided by 2. So recall that is the integral of this. So we substitute it. So we have the integral of 1 over 2, 1 minus cos 2px cos 2px dx. So that is what we'll be having then. So we can take the 1 over 2 outside, since 1 over 2 is a common. So we have 1 over 2 integral of minus cos 2px or dx. So this is minus pi over what? Over. So on splitting this integral, you can write this as um 1 over 2 1 over 2 integral of minus pi over pi, and we have 1 dx minus 1 over 2 integral of cos 2px dx. Now, don't forget that the integral, the answer for this one over here is already 0, because we've solved for the integral of cos px before. This is minus pi over. We solved for cos px is 0. So because we are multiplying it with 2 now, doesn't mean that it is going to have a different answer. So the answer for this is automatically 0, because we've solved this up here before. As you can see, the answer for cos px dx is 0. So even if we are multiplying it with 2, even if we are multiplying it with 3, the answer is still going to be 0. So, and we also solved this before, and the answer for this um is 2 pi. We've solved this before. So we have 1 over 2 multiplied by what? By 2 pi. 2 pi minus 0. So 2 cancel 2, we are left with what? We are left with pi. So that is going to be our final answer for that. So this is basically an introduction to what the Fourier series is, and we'll be solving a whole lot of series questions on them. So this is episode 1. We still have a whole lot of episodes to cover. So in order to get notifications on videos like this when they are being dropped, kindly click on the subscribe button and share to those who you feel it might be helpful to. Thank you. I don't know this.